Good morning. Today is Saturday, April 20, 2024, and this daily bread is titled, Listening to God's Voice. It's from Jeremiah 43, verses 1 to 13. The key verse is verse 6, and it says, They also led away all those whom Nebuzaradan, commander of the imperial guard, had left with Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, the men, the women, the children, and the king's daughters. And they took Jeremiah the prophet and Baruch, son of Neriah, along with them. When Jeremiah had finished telling the people all the words of the Lord their God, everything the Lord had sent him to tell them, Azariah, son of Hoshaiah, and Johanan, son of Kareah, and all the arrogant men said to Jeremiah, You are lying! The Lord our God has not sent you to say, You must not go to Egypt to settle there. But Baruch, son of Neriah, is inciting you against us, to hand us over to the Babylonians, so they may kill us or carry us into exile to Babylon. So Johanan, son of Kareah, and all the army officers and all the people disobeyed the Lord's command to stay in the land of Judah. Instead, Johanan, son of Kareah, and all the army officers led away all the remnant of Judah who had come back to live in the land of Judah from all the nations where they had been scattered. They also led away all those whom Nebuzaradan, commander of the imperial guard, had left with Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, the men, the women, the children, and the king's daughters. And they took Jeremiah the prophet and Baruch, son of Neriah, along with them. So they entered Egypt in disobedience to the Lord, and went as far as Tahpanhes. In Tahpanhes, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, While the Jews are watching, take some large stones with you and bury them in clay in the brick pavement at the entrance to Pharaoh's palace in Tahpanhes. Then say to them, This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says, I will send for my servant Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and I will set his throne over these stones I have buried here. He will spread his royal canopy above them. He will come and attack Egypt, bringing death to those destined for death, captivity to those destined for captivity, and the sword to those destined for the sword. He will set fire to the temples of the gods of Egypt. He will burn their temples and take their gods captive. As a shepherd picks his garment clean of lice, so he will pick Egypt clean and depart. There in the temple of the sun in Egypt, he will demolish the sacred pillars and will burn down the temples of the gods of Egypt. Daily Bread. Part 1. Fear turns into rebellion. In verse 2, all the fearful and arrogant men accused Jeremiah. You are lying. The Lord our God has not sent you to say, You must not go to Egypt to settle there. Fear hardened their hearts, and they completely rejected God's warning. When we're afraid, we blame, make excuses, and we don't recognize God's voice. Is your fear drowning out God as He's prompting you to trust Him? Fear makes us panic, but we need to learn to listen for God's voice even in the middle of the chaos. Jesus once said, My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me. John 10:27. Are you an attentive listener to Jesus? If we don't remain attentive to hearing God, our hearts will harden, and we will easily be led astray by our fear. But when we stay tuned into His voice, fear is dispelled, and our hearts are open to trust and follow Him. Part 2. Running away versus standing firm in faith. God gave Jeremiah a message. If the people tried running away to Egypt, His judgment would follow them there. It would have been far better for them to stay in Judah and trust that God would protect them. Sometimes when we're struggling, frustrated, and fearful, we think running away is the best solution. But we can never get rid of our problems by running away. Why? Because the problems are within our own heart. Our lack of faith, discouraged attitudes, and fear are what really makes us miserable and hopeless. But when we stand firm despite our difficulties and trust in God, that is when we gain a sense of confidence and security. Putting our faith in God is the only way to true freedom and peace. Proverbs 18:10 says, "The name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous run to it and are safe." Are you running away or running to God? Let's stand firm in God's protection and promises. Let's pray. Lord, please help me overcome my fear, stubbornness, and rebellion by learning to listen to your voice in the middle of chaos. Instead of running away from my problems, please strengthen me to stand firm in faith, trusting in your protection and promises. One word: overcome fear by standing firm in God.